So what is this whole thing about unlocking the DNA, the junk DNA that the scientists call? Since it is about the subconscious mind that we all know, and that we also should know that lives in the body as a memory, as a consciousness, then it should be about liberation. It shouldn't be very complicated to understand that to liberate ourselves is to free ourselves from trauma and use the trauma as our superpowers. Traumas are actually initiations. They are our burdens in life unless we know how to shift them into our superpowers and opening our voice, our abilities, our psychic abilities, our channeling abilities. Those are our soul's unique blueprint. That's what it means to unlock the DNA. The junk DNA, which is that the scientists say that we are made of 95% of. If that's the subconscious mind, like we know, that are steering our life, that means we are living our life in autopilot, in patterns, in codependency, in a fear-based reality of survival, where the nervous system cannot fully relax because it's so dependent on what happens to us externally. And we become more victims of it inside. How we feel inside, it's dependent on how something is externally of us or how someone treats us. Those patterns are all based on unconscious ways of being. And those unconscious ways of being are the junk DNA that we haven't yet activated, that we haven't yet unlocked. Because the more we are in unconscious ways of being, we haven't been diving into the subconscious mind yet. If that's so much part of us that lies beneath of how we are feeling, how we show up in the world, how our presence, how we are, then isn't that the key? Isn't the key to go to the subconscious mind? Because it's in the subconscious mind that exists in our body as a memory, where we can shift our reality, where we can shift our life, where we can take back our power and attract what's meant for us, because we need to embody a higher frequency in order to attract what is good for us, what supports that, what we embody. That's the true law of manifestation, what we embody. So wouldn't we want to liberate our souls in this physical form? So which means to go into the subconscious mind and making the unconscious conscious and activating this latent DNA, these latent gifts. A little background story. And by the way, why I'm saying all of this is because I happened to see a video of some famous person. I'm not going to mention his name because it might trigger a lot of you, because he's very famous in the spiritual communities and he channels a lot of information about the law of the universe and Atlantis and stuff. And many people look so much up to him, but hey, we are in a time right now where it doesn't matter how famous someone is. It's not about something that sounds good, that they just know how to talk. They have to also embody that. He says that he wouldn't like to sit next to someone who has activated the 12 DNA strand. Well, that means then that he doesn't want to see himself in a mirror, that he doesn't want to live his for the highest good of all. He doesn't want to integrate his higher self. He's attaching to the human mind, 3D mind reality, even though he's teaching about higher realms of existence. We have to see through this. I'm not here to call him out. That's not my purpose. But it is not nice, when you're misleading people, when you know that a lot of people listen to you and look up to you, when you don't even know how to talk about it, when you don't even know how to deal with this DNA, please don't talk about it. Let people who actually do this talk about it. Anyway, a little background story. Having that said, when we fell in Atlantis, the last fall of Atlantis is, like we all should know, I think by now, in the spiritual communities at least, we fell into a lower density, a lower dimension on this planet. And because we are all connected to the planet, we all had to also lower our dimension to be able to exist here. And that means our DNA was sealed. So most of people have been operating from 2 DNA strands, 3 or maximum 4 that some very high vibrational, high frequency beings are born into lately. We are meant to unlock the full 12 DNA strands. That's how we were living in Atlantis, in harmony with the planet itself as a conscious living being, knowing our soul's unique channeling abilities and gifts. Living with the higher self integrated in the body, which is a relaxed nervous system, which is about trusting our energy that we embody in our body, which means to channel our higher dimensional presence in this human form, which means to have our inner channel open here, which means our soul liberated in this human form. Trusting that, our presence, taking back our power, and opening our voices in this channeled way as sound frequency scalar. That's how we work, with presence in our body, traveling to deep states of relaxation consciously in the body, where you have access to deeper states of awareness, deeper states in the tissues in the body, so you can actually remove all these sealed DNAs in order to activate them again. I'm sharing this because I was facilitating a soul journey today where we travel into these states and do exactly this. This is with the help of higher dimensional beings called Arcturians from the Arcturian star systems, where they are very much specialized in upgrading the DNA and doing energetic surgery in the body. The human mind, the human 3D mind, is the part of us that resists evolution, because the human mind, the ego, likes to hold on to the familiar, but the familiar doesn't always mean that it's something healthy for us. It's actually our patterns. The more we are afraid of letting go of something or afraid of taking back our power, the powerful who we truly are, we are meant to be, the more we are in our ego, I'm sorry to say. In the fear-based programming, taking back our power is having the full potential of this energy within opened and expressed, so that we can be these big magnetic fields that we are meant to be, in coherence with Mother Earth's consciousness, is where she's going at this time. We can't work against this. Look at what you're resisting in your own evolution. Does it come from patterns, your ego, your human 3D mind, or does it actually come from your intuition? That's the question.